What's going on, everybody? My name is Tim. I'm a professional cook and writer, and today I'm going to be cooking some stuff as part of Groundwork Somerville's 20-year virtual celebration. Now, I'm working with some amazing produce straight from the South Street farm. Steph at Groundwork was kind enough to drop off all these vegetables for me, so we'll see what we can cook up. Summer is sadly over, fall is officially here, so we're taking advantage of some of the last harvests of the season. Steph gave me some beautiful eggplants, some baby carrots, some beets, and a bunch of herbs. Let's start with the eggplant. We've got a couple Italian eggplants and some Asian eggplants. You'll notice that the Italian eggplants are smaller than the ones you usually get at the grocery store. They tend to be sweeter, more delicate, and more tender. The Asian eggplant is longer and thinner, the skin is really delicate, so it doesn't need to be peeled, and the flesh is also pretty tender and sweet. One of the easiest things to make with eggplant is baba ganoush. Start by preheating your broiler. Line a sheet pan with some aluminum foil and park those eggplants straight on the pan. Broil those babies for about an hour, turning them every so often until they're well charred and wrinkled on all sides. When everything is cool enough but still warm, you want to take that same foil and wrap the eggplant. This will make sure the interior steams and the flesh is super tender and soft. Once your eggplant is completely cool, unwrap the foil and start peeling back the skin. The inside should peel away easily and it should be soft and mushy. If you've ever cooked eggplant before, you'll know that eggplant carries a ton of water. Even after cooking like this, the flesh still has a good amount of excess moisture that can make your dip watery and a bit muddy tasting. So one way to get rid of that water is with a salad spinner, which, as it turns out, is great for more than just spinning salad. Carefully peel all the flesh from the skin and load it into the bowl of your salad spinner. Give it a few good whacks and spin the out of your eggplant. If you do it right, you'll see all this excess liquid at the bottom of the bowl and some nice dry eggplant left behind. To finish our dip, we need a few more things. Some lemon for acidity, a good amount of chopped parsley, tahini, garlic, some good olive oil, and miso, which is really untraditional, but it adds a nice flavor and plays well with the tahini. Start by combining 1 tablespoon of miso and about a 1/4 cup of tahini in a bowl. Grate in the garlic, add the juice of a whole lemon, and some salt and pepper. To mix it, I just use a fork. It does a really good job of mashing things up and whisking things here. When your mixture looks smooth, go ahead and add your eggplant. Keep mashing and mixing with your fork until it gets smooth again. Slowly drizzle in about 1/3 cup of olive oil and continue to mix. Keep stirring until everything is nice and combined. Fold in your parsley and that's it. Season it with a little more salt and pepper and you're good to go. To plate it up, I like to make a nice little well in the middle of a bowl for some extra olive oil. Squeeze in a little extra lemon juice, add some more parsley and maybe some roasted sesame seeds, and you've got yourself a nice little plate of non-traditional baba ganoush. Let's move on to the Asian or Chinese eggplant. These are great for stews or stir fries. I'm going to make a Sichuan eggplant dish. This recipe comes from one of my good buddies Sasha over at Serious Eats. Start by cutting your eggplant into 1.5 inch pieces. Line a heat-safe plate with coffee filters and set it aside. Toss your eggplant with a healthy amount of salt. The salt draws out moisture from the flesh, which we're going to cook off and evaporate so that we can char these pieces. Spread about half your eggplant over the plate and microwave on high until the pieces are shriveled and dry to the touch, about 10 minutes. Repeat with the remaining eggplant and you should end up with something like this. I know it looks weird, but trust me, it's going to be okay. Next, we're going to make the sauce. Start by chopping up 2 cloves of garlic and thinly slicing a 2-inch knob of ginger. A spoon works great for peeling. Cut the ginger into planks, line those guys up, and slice away. Grab yourself a pot, and to it you're going to add 1/3 cup of vegetable oil, the garlic and the ginger, a couple cloves of star anise, and some ground up dried bird chilies. Set the pot over medium heat until it starts to sizzle. Lower the heat and simmer it until the bubbling gets slower and the ginger and the garlic are soft, about 5 minutes. Let the mixture cool for about 5 minutes longer, then add a 1/4 cup of oyster sauce, about a tablespoon of sugar, and 2 tablespoons of Chinese rice wine. Give that all a nice stir, then set that bowl of spicy, umami, crazy tasty stuff aside. We'll need a couple more things for this dish. I've got some red bell pepper, This is a funky triangle cut that's common in Chinese cooking. We'll also need some sliced scallion whites and separately some 1-inch sections of the green parts. Alright, here we go. Heat up 2 tablespoons of oil in a pan over a ripping hot flame. When it's nice and smoky, add all your eggplant and cook it until it's well charred on all sides, about 6 minutes. Don't be afraid to push it to the limit here. Also, you might want to open the windows and maybe take down your smoke detectors for this one. When the eggplant is nice and charred, make a space in the middle of the pan, add another tablespoon of oil, and drop in the bell pepper. Cook those peppers until they're lightly charred, just a few minutes more. Lower the heat, add in a 1/4 cup of rice wine and a splash of water, then toss in those scallion greens. Toss it all together so it's nice and happy, then kill the heat. Stir in your prepared sauce and mix it till it's all coated and looks real good and tasty. To serve it up, spoon everything into a bowl, sprinkle over those scallion whites, some roasted sesame seeds, and a whole crap ton of cilantro sprigs. And there you go, charred eggplant, Szechuan style. Last up, we've got some carrots. These have some really nice tops, so we'll try to put them to good use. Start by trimming off the top third of the tops, mostly the leaves. These tend to be pretty dirty, so it's a good idea to wash and dry them before going any further. Once they're clean, pick off the tender leaves and toss any woody stems or ratty, sad-looking parts. Next, we're going to trim the carrots. Start by trimming the stems off. The stems are pretty woody, so it's best to trim them off as much as possible. Scissors work well here if you're not in a hurry. These carrots are all different sizes, shapes, and colors, but that's okay. Line the carrots up on a sheet pan lined with foil, toss them in some vegetable oil and salt, and roast them in a 350-degree oven until just tender, about 15 to 30 minutes depending on the size of the carrot. Now back to the carrot tops. We're going to make a pesto. Start by boiling some water and adding a pinch of baking soda, which raises the pH and keeps the tops greener. Throw in your tops, reserving some for later, and cook until deep dark green, about 3 minutes. Throw the cooked tops immediately into an ice bath, wring out the excess water, and you should be left with this. Here's everything that's going into our pesto. We've got the blanched carrot tops, about 1.5 cups of chopped parsley, 1 clove of garlic, 2 tablespoons of toasted pistachios or whatever nut you might have, and 2 tablespoons of grated Parmesan cheese. You'll also need some good olive oil. To a blender, we'll add the tops, the parsley, the garlic, the pistachios, and the cheese. Give it a buzz and add some water to get things going. Scrape down the sides, add some salt, and keep blending. Slowly drizzle in about 1/2 cup of olive oil until you get a smooth mixture. Scrape out all that goodness into a container, and you got yourself a bright green carrot top pesto. Along with the pesto, I'll be making some whipped ricotta. It's pretty simple. Ricotta is like the blank canvas of soft cheeses. It's thick and a touch grainy out of the box, but you can also whip it up till it's smooth and creamy. To make it, we need a lemon, both the zest and the juice, and some good olive oil. Rinse out your blender and add 1 cup of ricotta. Grate in the zest of a whole lemon plus all of the juice, add a pinch of salt, and blend it all up. Stream in about 1/4 cup of olive oil, and let it all go until the mixture gets nice, luxurious, and creamy. Not bad if I do say so myself. Now we've got 2 simple but tasty sauces to go with our carrots. When the carrots are done, I like to check with a cake tester. It should slip easily into the thickest part of each carrot with not too much resistance. Next up, we're going to char the carrots. And I know what you're thinking. What is my obsession with charring things? I guess blazing hot hellfire is just the flavor of the month for me. But honestly, that flavor is just really, really good if you do it right. So heat 2 tablespoons of oil in a pan over high heat until it's smoking. Add the carrots and cook until they're well charred on all sides. The smaller carrots will char faster, so keep an eye on things as you're going. I like to use big tweezers, but use whatever you got. So we've got these nicely charred carrots of all different sizes. Once they're cool enough to handle, cut them lengthwise down the middle into roughly the same size. You might need to quarter the big boys, but keep the smaller carrots whole or in half. Garnishes are pretty simple here too. Run a knife through those leftover carrot tops, plus a little mint for that super fresh flavor. For plating, I'm going with one of my old chef's tricks. Spoon a roughly equal amount of pesto and whipped ricotta right next to each other. Then, using an offset spatula, spread the sauce evenly across the plate, making sure to keep those old shaky hands steady. Then lay a bunch of charred carrots on top, a little bit perpendicular to the sauce. Drizzle some more olive oil, some flaky sea salt, some more roasted sesame seeds, the mint, and the carrot tops. And that's it. A simple, fancy, schmancy looking carrot dish. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you learned something. I hope you found some nuggets of inspiration. And I hope you continue to support Groundwork Somerville in their amazing work for our community. Congratulations on 20 years. My name's Tim. Keep on growing. Keep on cooking.